Let's finish our exercise with adjustment of adjectives to the gender and the number of the noun. Basically, I will give you another pattern, another set of endings for adjectives. Pay attention, the endings sound more or less the same as the endings in the previous lesson. So we were having ending aya for feminine, basically for all of the feminine adjectives, oye for neutral, and uye or iye for plural. And I think it was yeye for neutral. My point is that the endings, they sound more or less the same. However, there is another rule or another set of rules which helps you to recognize which ending to put. And the rule goes more or less following the following way. You need to recognize the stem of the word. Stem of the word, basically the core of the word. I don't want to go too deep into this. And after you recognize the stem of the word, you need to recognize the hardness of the last letter within the stem of the word. And personally, I think it overcomplicates the issue. I don't think people need to work on this way. And I think the teachers who presented to you are making a mistake because they scare you away from Russian language. Especially if you think about this the way I presented to you. If you understand what are you doing, that you adjust the adjective to the gender of the or the number of the noun, and assuming you put a wrong ending, what's the problem with this? People understand you because the endings sound more or less the same, and especially you're using your feeling for the vocal harmony within Russian language. So let's work on these examples. The adjective синий. Синий means blue. Синий. Синий means blue, with the emphasis on E. Try to guess the ending. So it's not aya, but it is яя. Синяя. Си-ня-я. Синяя. So we are changing E to яя. Can you hear how similar they are? Aya, яя, aya, яя. Aya and yaya sound more or less similar. So let's assume you forget that you need to put yaya, which is more or less logical because from the ending ee, you cannot recognize that you need to put yaya in синий, синяя. Then you would get синяя, синяя, синяя. It sounds almost the same, so you don't need to worry about these endings. If you're lazy and if you don't want to study all of the endings and you don't want to go into particular adjectives, you want to start working on this a little bit later, just memorize 3 endings. For feminine, aya, for neutral, oye, and for plural, iye. And in most cases, people will understand you in a spoken language, and almost in all cases, your read language will be also fine. What's happening with the neutral, if we want to describe a neutral word? The ending becomes ее, синее, си-не-е, синее, синее здание, blue building. Well, here, if you put oye, синое, it sounds different. It might be become a difficulty, but still, it is fine for you to use oye in this case, especially within the context of the sentence. It will be easy to understand you. And the plural would be iye, ending iye, синие, си-ни-е, синие цветы. And you can see the ending repeats itself. Ие, ие, ие sounds more or less the same. So if you memorized ие as the ending for adjective which describes the plural, then the adjective would become синие цветы. It's fine. It's understandable. Last example. Последний means last. Последний. 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 Последний translated as last, so последний город would be last city. Последний is the word as you find it in the dictionary, so it describes the masculine. What will happen if we get feminine word? We need to describe how would we say last school. Well, here we need to use this pattern. Последняя школа, the ending яя. For building, neutral, последнее, последнее здание, last building. And последние цветы would be last flowers. It's not very difficult, isn't it? And don't worry about the difference in the sound. If you replace ye with oye, even though it is kind of changing the sound of the word, Russians will understand you, they will correct you, and at some point you will understand from the sound of the word, from the vocal harmony of the sentence or of adjective and the noun, what you need to put. Your brain creates a statistical data for this. And the last word, because it is useful to learn some adjectives, and I see I got a last one for you to exercise. Домашний. До, ма, ш, ни. Домашний means domesticated or domestical. So ends in e, and I'm telling you the pattern is the same. Домашняя, домашнее, and домашние. We're replacing last two letters with яя, ее, and ие. Please write them down for you in combination. So write the word. So последний город, последняя школа, последнее здание, последние цветы. Maybe make a sentence with this. In the following lesson, we will have an exercise where we will build simple sentences with what we learned in the agreement between adjective and the noun. And for домашний, because it's domestic, maybe try to find some nouns which can be described with domestic or homey